talking away. I don't know what I'm to say, I'll say it anyway. Today's another day to find you shying away. I'll be coming for your love, okay? Take on me, take me on. I'll be gone in a day or two. So, needless to say, I'm odds and ends, but I'll be stumbling away, slowly learning that life is okay. Say after me, it's no better to be safe than sorry.
I think that, I just don't think divorce should be an option. Like, it should be an option only in extreme circumstances. But the whole point of marriage is you get into a marriage with the whole perspective and the intention of making that marriage and that relationship last forever. That's the whole point.
So it's possible.
Oh yeah, well, divorce is like not an option for me. It's like, I'm gonna get married and
That's it.
He's stuck with me.
And that's so important. Because if you eventually leave your wife and you divorce her, and then now you're contaminated and you're gonna have to find someone else, and then you're just gonna have this huge list of people, one relationship to the next.
Modern people like to think that there's nothing dangerous about sex, and that is like the stupidest thing you could possibly ever hypothesize, because everything about it is dangerous. It's dangerous emotionally, it's dangerous socially, and it's dangerous because of the possibility of sickness, and that's a major one.
I don't trust those STD tests. Why would I trust those tests?
Why would you not trust an STD test?
We know so little about STDs. Like, there are hundreds of, potentially thousands of STDs. We don't even know what they are, let alone how to test for them. These STDs could be causing chronic, fatal illness 10, 20, 30 years later after you contract the STD.
All right, Alex Jones.
STDs have been linked to heart disease, Alzheimer's, cancer, you name it.
Oh.
So people think, oh yeah, I got my STD test. Meanwhile, they're a ticking time bomb. They're going to die.
How do you know?
They're going to die 10, 20, 30 years later.
Citation needed. Okay.
It's all over the place. I read health articles.
We are monogamous creatures. We fall in love with one person and we're focused on one person. But the media does not promote that. There has been so many studies done that show that having more sexual partners actually makes you a lot more mentally ill and unhappier.
Despite popular belief in what Cosmo magazine will tell you, sex has serious psychological impacts on women that will change your relationships forever. Statistically, every man a woman sleeps with past one adds to the increased chances that her marriage will later end in divorce.
So what the Bible says about that is, it says, it is God's will that you should be sanctified, that you should avoid sexual immorality, that each of you should learn to control your own body in a way that is holy and honorable, not in passionate lust like the pagans who do not know God. So the Bible is telling us that God's will for us is to be sanctified, which means to abstain from sexual immorality, and fornication or having sex outside of marriage is sexual immorality. So I wouldn't be honoring God and I wouldn't be in God's will if I did that. So number one, I want to honor God. The number one reason I'm doing this is because God tells me to do this. This is something that God holds near and dear to him, and because I love God, I want to honor it. I want to honor what my Father tells me to do.
I am not trying to sell an idea that myself as a 22-year-old needs to be married right now for the sake of traditionalism and not being a degenerate. No, in fact, I think it would be degenerate for me to get married right now without someone that I'm truly in love with and think could be a good father to my children. So I'm not going to get married at 22 years old just so that I won't be called a degenerate on the internet.
And I have all of eternity to find the right person.
Oh, Lord, here we go. Oh, my God.
I'm in no rush. That's the benefit of living forever. You get to really be picky and choosy with who you're, going to be with.
Yeah.
You don't rush into something because, like, a lot of people, they're rushing into a relationship. They're trying to, they're settling for something because they're thinking, oh, I'm going to die when I'm 80. I better just get involved with this relationship and go have sex with this person because they're of the mindset that they're just going to die. And so they're just trying to rush everything.
But most important out of all of these things is you don't need a relationship to be happy. You don't need a relationship to have a fulfilling life. Don't feel pressured to get into a relationship. Don't feel pressured to lose your virginity.
What?
Hey, I think STDs and the whole sex thing is the most.
Now I see why you want to wait till you get married before you have sex. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, it is serious business. I don't think people are taking this nearly serious enough. And I think if I could make one criticism of this generation of people, is like they do not care enough about. They don't take sex as a big deal enough. It's a huge deal. I come from the thought that sex is like sacred. It's very, very important, and you shouldn't make light of it. It's like a big deal. And so if you're gonna have sex with someone, might as well pick the right person and be with them forever. Like,
way back when, sex before marriage was largely frowned upon. Nowadays, though, it's quite the opposite. Sex before marriage with multiple partners is not only the norm, it's encouraged. Being a virgin on one's wedding day is extremely rare. In fact, only about 3% of Americans still wait until marriage to have sex.
Oh, no. You're kidding me.
To put it simply, divorce rates nowadays are an absolute dumpster fire. Roughly 50% of marriages nowadays end in divorce, and University of Maryland sociology professor Philip Cohen concludes that based on recent survey data, if current behavior continues, 52.7% of marriages are going to end in divorce.
why not just find one person and just be with them forever? That, to me, is what makes sense. That's why I love marriage. Marriage is definitely not outdated as an institution. It's very a good tradition that we have.
It's you, you rare unearthly thing. Poor and obscure as you are. Please accept me as your husband. I must have you for my own.
You wish me to be your wife?
I swear it.
You love me?
I do.
Then I will marry you.
Flee from sexual immorality. All other sins a person commits are outside the body, but whoever sins sexually sins against their own body. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You are bought at a price, therefore honor God with your bodies. So, I really love this because that's telling you that your body is a temple, and your body is a temple of God. God created you. So the sexual immorality is a sin that you commit to your own body, as well as to God, and as well as to the person that you're in fornication with. And just, even if we put the Bible aside, just thinking carnally, I want to honor myself, right? I don't want to give my body just to anybody who'll take it, or just to anybody because I'm feeling you at the moment or you're feeling me at the moment. I feel like my body is something that is a prized possession. This is my body, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to give that out to just anybody.
I solemnly vow to love you faithfully, forsaking all others. I promise to trust and respect you, and to keep you safe for as long as we both shall live. All that I have is now yours.
First thing is that sexual immorality is any type of sexual activity that could be fornication, adultery, homosexuality, anything that is not in the context of marriage between a man and his wife. So, sexual immorality is something that is very, very serious, and the Bible is very clear about that. God is very clear about that from the beginning. If we look at 1 Corinthians, it's chapter 6, verse 18. Yeah, verse 18. It says, flee from sexual immorality. Now, I can stop right there and just say that it didn't say walk away from sexual immorality. It didn't say ignore sexual immorality. It says flee. That should tell us that this is something serious and that we really need to be careful and protect ourselves and guard ourselves from this type of sin.
So, needless to say,
have I ever kissed anyone? I have kissed someone. I kissed 2 girls in my life, and I regret it. It's a long story, to be honest. I should have never kissed those girls. You should not kiss before marriage. This is a perfect example of that. I would never kiss those girls if I had at the time realized that you should not be kissing anyone before marriage, you know? And yeah. So I consider those kisses to be wasted.
Ew.
So don't make my mistake, people. Wait until you're married before you kiss anyone. Okay? Someone says, I'm no longer pure. I know, that's why I shouldn't have done that. It was really stupid and lame of me. I'm not a kissing virgin. I wish I was still a kissing virgin. You know? Gosh, I really screwed up.
You got me, officer! I did it! And I'm sorry. Aren't you gonna cuff me? Put me in a chokehold? Blind me with pepper spray?
You heard him, officer. He admitted it.
I'd go with the pepper spray.
Yes, I heard him all right. He said he was sorry.
so, needless to say.
Emily Robinson says, do you think you will have children someday? I think someday I hold out hope that I will have children someday. And I think that's important to tell your body. I mean, this kind of sounds weird and maybe esoteric or something, but I think it's important to live forever to kind of like keep yourself in the mating game. Like make sure your body feels like there's a chance that it can have children, and that it's gonna like keep your body wanting to live longer so it can procreate. Like it's like, for instance, I'm against getting a vasectomy. Like I would never get a vasectomy because then you're basically taking yourself out of the evolutionary chain, and you're saying, and your body now gets the signal that there's no reason for it to be alive, and so it could literally kill you. Your body could just die now because it feels like, oh, I'm not going to have children. So you always want to be kind of telling your body, communicating to yourself and your mind and your psyche and your body, the mind-body connection. You got to be telling yourself that you might have children one day. And that's going to like push your body to stay alive so it can procreate. Obviously, that's not why we want to live forever, so we can procreate. Like, who cares about that? We want to live forever for our own sake, so we can live forever. But it's kind of a trick, I think, hacking evolution to like push our bodies forward into the future. That probably sounded really weird, and I probably didn't communicate that well.
The question is, doesn't he want to have white babies?
Oh, the white babies question. Oh, gosh. Well, I would be open to it, if I found the right girl. But honestly, I'm not one of those people that's like, I don't need to have babies. Honestly, I know like I should want to have the white babies to help the white race survive, right? But I'm more concerned with like self-preservation than having babies.
I can understand that.
Words that you say, is it life or just to play my worries away? You're all the things I've got to remember, shying away. I'll be coming for you anyway. Take on me, take me on. I'll be gone in a day or two. Say after me, it's no better to be safe than sorry.